Have you noticed that life is never the same again when a chosen one awakens spiritually? Suddenly, old certainties fall apart, senses expand, and everything gains a new meaning. It's not imagination, it's not coincidence, it's real transformation. This awakening triggers incredible things that completely change the way of existing in the world. When this happens, nothing remains the same. Relationships reconfigure, environments that were once comfortable start to feel heavy, and even the body gives signs that something greater is happening. It's as if a new spiritual frequency is released, opening doors that were hidden and revealing truths you had never noticed. The spiritual awakening of a chosen one is not light nor simple, but it is a powerful process. It comes to activate gifts, align paths, and place you before your true mission. Therefore, in this video, I want to share with you 7 incredible events that mark this process, clear signs that something greater is in motion. These 7 points are not distant theory. They are experiences you may be feeling now, in the body, in emotions, in the mind, and in the soul. If you have noticed intense, strange, or even uncomfortable changes, stay with me until the end of this video. You will understand why all of this is part of your journey. And before we begin, I ask, follow the channel. This helps spread this message to other chosen ones who are awakening and need direction. My name is George, and I'm here to share these revelations with you. So get ready. Let's dive into the 7 incredible and amazing things that happen when a chosen one awakens spiritually. The body awakens before the mind. The spiritual awakening of a chosen one does not begin solely with thoughts or feelings. Often it is the body that gives the first signs that something deep is happening. You may feel inexplicable fatigue, irregular sleep, or a different energy coursing through your muscles. This is not fragility. It is an adjustment. The body prepares to accompany the soul that has just awakened. Some people notice changes in appetite. Certain foods stop making sense, while others become more appealing. This happens because the body begins to reject what is not aligned with the new vibration. The palate changes, the stomach reacts differently, and even the way you perceive aromas and flavors gains a different intensity. The eyes also reveal signals. The brightness changes, the depth of the gaze intensifies, and the people around you notice without you saying a word. It's as if the inner light begins to overflow into the physical. This change is subtle, but real. It shows that the awakening is reflected in what is visible to everyone. It is common to have inexplicable pains, such as a weight on the shoulders, tingling in the hands or legs, or even sudden palpitations. These symptoms are not always diseases, but energetic responses to what is happening inside you. The body is removing old blockages and making space for the new spiritual frequency to flow freely. Sleep undergoes transformations. On some nights you sleep deeply, as if recharging. On others, you can hardly rest, because the mind seems restless and the heart racing. All of this is part of the process. It's as if the body is learning to operate in harmony with the awakened soul. Some chosen ones report changes in body weight. Some lose weight unexpectedly, while others gain a few pounds even without changes in routine. This is linked to the metabolism that accompanies the spiritual vibration. The body seeks balance, and in this adjustment, it may change shape without apparent explanation, just to align with the new state. Energy also fluctuates. There are days when you feel charged, full of vitality, as if you could move mountains. On other days, fatigue dominates, and even getting out of bed seems difficult. This back and forth is natural. The awakened soul is guiding the body at a different pace, demanding patience and care. People around you notice. Friends, family, or colleagues may comment that you are different, even if they cannot explain how. This happens because the energy surrounding you changes. Your spiritual field gains strength, and that strength overflows, affecting those who come near. Your presence begins to carry something new, even in silence. In this process, it is important not to fight the body. It is not failing, it is adjusting. Each pain, each change, each symptom is a natural response to what the soul awakened. Instead of fearing, accept it as part of the journey. The body is a temple, and like any temple, it must be prepared for something greater. The spiritual awakening is a revolution that starts from the inside out. The mind still tries to understand, but the body already responds. This phase can be uncomfortable, but it is necessary. Your body is reminding you that you are not just flesh. It is the vehicle of your mission. Each physical sign is proof that your essence is finally taking command. The value of inner wear. When a chosen one awakens spiritually, one of the first changes happens within the soul. What once seemed to satisfy loses its shine. Old ambitions no longer provide motivation. Superficial conversations become tiring. The heart feels that what seemed important no longer has weight. This emptying is not a loss. It is space being opened for something greater. You begin to realize that living to please others no longer makes sense. Forced laughter, social masks, attempts to fit in, all of that becomes heavy. It is as if a part of you says, "Enough, now I want to be true." This inner weariness is an invitation to authenticity. The soul asks to breathe freedom. Hobbies and activities that used to be enjoyable may lose their charm. It is as if the emptiness becomes evident in what used to distract. This does not mean you have lost your love for life, but that your essence is seeking something deeper. The awakening soul is not satisfied with superficial distractions. It seeks meaning in every choice. This process can be frightening. You look back and no longer recognize yourself. People say you have changed, and you yourself feel this strangeness. But the truth is that you are not losing yourself. You are finding yourself. The inner weariness is proof that the old version is dissolving so that the true one can appear. Mood swings are also common. Days of intense introspection, followed by moments of clarity and enthusiasm. It is not instability, it is transformation. It is as if old layers are being stripped away one by one. Each layer that falls reveals something more authentic, closer to the essence you have always carried. The search for silence grows. Old habits of distraction give way to moments of solitude, reflection, and prayer. The soul wants to listen to itself, wants to reconnect. This new interest may seem strange at first, but it is a sign of spiritual maturity. The inner weariness brings you closer to yourself, away from the external noise. You begin to identify your own masks. You realize that for a long time, you tried to mold yourself to others' expectations. Now you feel courage to remove these masks and show yourself as you are. This honesty may discomfort those who are not ready, but it brings a lightness you have never experienced before. It is liberation, not loss. The inner weariness is, in fact, a rebirth. It is the sign that your soul is taking the place that the ego once occupied. This transition can be painful, but it is necessary, because only when you shed what is shallow can you discover what is deep. The essence finally takes control. This phase is not the end, it is the beginning. What seemed empty is, in truth, space for the new. The weariness does not destroy, it cleanses. It is what prepares you to live with real purpose. The value of inner weariness is simple. It opens the way for you to be, in fact, who you were born to be. Elevated sensitivity to the invisible. When spiritual awakening happens, the senses go beyond the ordinary. Suddenly you enter a place and feel a weight you can't explain. A seemingly normal conversation can feel uncomfortable because something unsaid is perceived by your soul. This sensitivity is not weakness. It is a gift given to a few to see beyond the surface. You begin to pick up hidden intentions. A smile may no longer deceive because you feel the real energy behind words. People who hide sadness or anger become transparent to you. It's as if the veils fall and the soul comes to recognize the invisible. This perception is present, but also a responsibility. This sensitivity needs to be protected. If you do not learn to discern, you may end up carrying the weight of emotions that are not yours. The chosen often confuse what they feel inside with what is being absorbed from the environment. It's important to remember, not everything you feel comes from you. It is a spiritual reflection. Silence becomes essential. It is in retreat that you understand what truly belongs to your heart and what merely passed through your energy. Praying, meditating, writing, or simply stepping away from the noise helps filter the excess. Discernment is born of practice. The more you learn to silence yourself, the clearer it becomes what is the voice of God. Charged environments begin to affect your body. You may feel fatigue, headaches, or even a weight in the legs for no apparent reason. This happens because your spiritual perception is linked to the physical. The body reacts to the invisible. This reaction is not a disease, but a sign that you need to learn to protect yourself spiritually. Embracing this sensitivity is different from surrendering to it without control. You don't need to become a sponge for everything. You need to learn to transform this perception into prayer, intercession, or conscious action. The gift was not given to overwhelm you, but to help you fulfill your mission more clearly and truly. Over time, you discover that this sensitivity also brings beauty. Small gestures begin to have great value. A sincere hug, a kind word, a loving look. Everything is felt more deeply. This nourishes the soul and creates genuine connections. The invisible reveals not only shadows, but also light. Many around you may not understand. Some will say you are exaggerating, that it's drama or imagination. But you know it isn't. Spiritual awakening opens doors that cannot be closed. What you perceive is real, even if it is not visible. And this truth must be cared for with wisdom. In the end, this perception is a compass. It shows when something is wrong, when something is true, when it is time to stay or to leave. The invisible becomes language. And if you know how to listen, this language will guide you safely, avoiding traps and bringing you closer to those who truly need your light. Rhythm, speeds, up and pauses. After awakening, time seems to change speed. Things that would have taken years happen suddenly. What seemed stuck for decades dissolves in days. It's as if life is pushing you forward with force. This acceleration may be scary, but it doesn't come to destroy. It comes to free you from old formats. Relationships dissolve quickly, opportunities arise from nothing, and old doors close without explanation. This happens because heaven is clearing the path. Everything that does not match your new vibration begins to fall. The accelerated pace is a sign that your soul is ready to live a new phase. There is no more time to wait. This inner speed can tire the body. It is common to feel exhaustion, as if the changes were too intense. But this fatigue doesn't mean something is wrong. It is the adjustment between spirit and matter. The body tries to keep up with the speed of what is happening inside you, and that is why it asks for more rest and care. Acceleration doesn't always mean external hustle. Often the changes are internal. In a matter of days, you notice old traumas coming to the surface, forgotten memories surfacing, buried emotions being exposed. It seems like everything happens at once. But, in truth, it is the Spirit reorganizing your inner state, so you walk lighter and more consciously. This cycle of movement and pause teaches that not everything depends on you. There are moments when God accelerates processes because He knows you are ready. In other times, He slows down so you understand, mature, and absorb. Spiritual life is not a chase with no end. It is a flow that alternates speed and rest. During the acceleration, you discover hidden gifts. What would take years of practice flows naturally. Knowledge emerges as if it were already inside you. This is activation. Awakening opens spiritual memories that were dormant, and when activated, they make your life move in large steps, faster than you imagined. But soon after moments of great movement, comes the call to retreat. Resting is not a delay, it is preparation. It allows you to absorb the lessons of the acceleration. It brings clarity. It shows that balance is an essential part of the journey. Without rest, speed becomes weight. Without movement, rest becomes stagnation. The spiritual rhythm does not follow the human clock. Sometimes you think you're late, but in truth, you are in the right time. Awakening teaches that heaven's timing is different. What seems too fast or too slow is, in fact, perfect synchronization with the purpose you carry. Accepting this flow is liberating. You understand that you don't need to control every detail. Your part is to trust, follow the signs, and honor your body and spirit. The rest happens in exact measure. The rhythm may speed up or request rest, but in both cases, it is heaven guiding your steps toward the right path. Vision that goes beyond the eyes. When spiritual awakening happens, something changes in the way you see life. It's not only what the physical eyes capture, but what the soul perceives in the margins. Suddenly, you begin to identify hidden falsehoods in smiles, unspoken intentions in gestures, and even the energy that surrounds each environment. This vision is not meant to place you above anyone. On the contrary, it is a greater responsibility, because those who see beyond must choose what to do with that clarity. Discernment is not just for identifying shadows, but also for choosing the light. Each perception becomes an invitation to act in alignment with the purpose. You begin to perceive that not everything that seems good is truly true. Some opportunities, seemingly perfect, carry hidden traps. Some people, outwardly friendly, hide dubious intentions. The sight of the soul is not bound by appearances, but reveals the essence. And this is a guide for more conscious and aligned decisions. With this perception, you also learn to value simple things. A sincere look, a genuine gesture, a loving word gain another dimension. The soul comes to see beauty where ordinary sight does not. This clarity reveals not only falsity, but also authenticity. It exposes truth in all its forms. Often this vision can bring discomfort. Seeing beyond means discovering lies you would rather not know. People who seem trustworthy reveal themselves as different. Places once welcoming begin to weigh on you. This revelation can be painful, but it is liberating. Because truth always opens paths, even if at first it hurts. Spiritual sight does not require external proof. The feeling that wells up in the soul is enough. You begin to trust that intuition you once ignored. You learn that the soul always knew, but is now more awake. This trust becomes a steady direction, even when human eyes do not understand what is happening. Over time, you realize you do not need to explain everything you feel. Some will understand, others will not. This vision is not to be justified, but to be lived. Those who also awaken will recognize. Those who do not yet understand may question. But that does not diminish the value of your clarity. It exists to guide you, not to be validated. This new way of seeing also widens your compassion. You begin to see the hidden pain in those who pretend to be fine. You sense potential where there is only fatigue. You recognize light in people whom the world rejects. Spiritual discernment is not only the revelation of faults but also of possibilities. It shows that everything can be restored. Seeing beyond is also seeing yourself more clearly. Awakening opens your eyes to your own shadows, to the fears you hid and the gifts you neglected. This inner vision is as important as the outer one. It is not there to condemn you, but to align you with who you truly are on the spiritual plane. In the end, this vision is a rare gift. It protects you from traps, brings you closer to authentic connections, and guides you in moments of uncertainty. But above all, it reminds you that life is more than appearances. There is always something beyond the eyes, and those chosen learn to walk in that invisible clarity. What once united you no longer makes sense. Conversations feel empty. Encounters feel forced. The awakening soul is not satisfied with superficial relationships. It seeks depth, truth, reciprocity. For this reason, some people naturally drift away, not because they are bad, but because they are no longer in tune with your new spiritual vibration. This process can hurt. It is hard to lose old connections, friendships of years, close family members. But you must understand, it is not loss, it is transition. Awakening changes your frequency, and this new energy only attracts those who vibrate on the same wavelength. The drift is not punishment, it is liberation. It is space being opened for new connections. At the same time, new people begin to emerge. Deep relationships form unexpectedly. In a few conversations, you feel trust and connection like never before. It is as if you had reconnected with someone you knew from other lives, or as if heaven had placed that person in your path to walk together. These new connections are not based on time but on truth. They are people who do not want to mold you, but support you. They recognize your essence without needing explanations. They do not require masks or performances. They simply allow you to be who you are, in total authenticity. This is spiritual healing, translated into human bonds. Awakening also shows who truly cares. Some stay, even without understanding everything. They stay out of love, out of respect, out of loyalty. These are treasures, because they show that true connection does not need an explanation. Those who truly love do not demand that you return to who you were, but walk beside you as you change. This reorganization of ties teaches a lot about self-love. You learn not to force yourself any longer. You discover you do not need to mold yourself to please, nor accept crumbs to feel accepted. Spiritual awakening reminds you that your essence is already enough, and those who don't understand this naturally drift from your path. Over time, you realize you haven't lost anything. The connections that faded fulfilled their role, and now it is time to move on. Those that arrive come to add, strengthen, and expand your journey, and those that remain are the ones who were truly chosen to walk with you in true purpose. This transition also brings lessons about letting go. You understand that not everyone will accompany your process. Some cycles need to close for new ones to open. And there is no reason to fear, because every distance creates space for more aligned, deeper, lighter, and truer encounters. In the end, the bonds reconfigure because you yourself have reconfigured. Your soul has shifted place, your energy has changed frequency, and your life now attracts only what resonates with this new phase. It is a gift of awakening, to walk with those who share the same light, without masks, without weights, only in truth. Soul-activated mission. When the hum appears unexpectedly and insists on staying, It ceases to be just a strange sound and becomes a clear signal. It is like a spiritual password, activating something dormant inside you. The awakened soul understands. This sound is a summons, a reminder that there is a mission that must be fulfilled now, not postponed anymore. Life begins to take on a different tone. What was previously distraction loses its force. Things with no real value stop attracting you. This call reorganizes your priorities. You realize that you can no longer live only for yourself, nor spend energy on what does not build. The sound reminds you, you were set apart for something greater, and you must take a stand with courage. This activation does not ask for perfection. It asks for surrender. It does not require that you have all the answers, but that you are willing to obey the direction you have already received. Pray more, watch more, act with more intentionality. All of this becomes natural when the soul recognizes the weight of responsibility. The call is insistent because it is non-transferable. Only you can fulfill it. The inner silence begins to shout vocation. Even when you try to flee or ignore it, something inside you insists on pulling you back to the purpose. This is the strongest sign that the mission has been activated. You are no longer at the same level. You have been placed in spiritual motion, and there is no way back to the previous state. Answer this call with courage. Do not get lost in distractions. Do not let fear or doubt paralyze you. The sound you hear is a constant reminder of who you are and why you were chosen. It does not come to scare you, but to guide you. It is time to rise, live with purpose, and let your light impact the world. The hum in your ear is not just noise. It is a spiritual frequency, a code that awakens, alerts, confirms. It appears at the right moment to remind you that you are not alone. It activates senses, choices, directions. When it sounds again, stop, breathe. Ask your spirit, what do you want me to do? The answer may come in peace, clarity, revelation. If you are feeling this, comment here with your experience. Help another chosen one here. Find your moment.